Hi everyone, welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you how I made this quick and easy treat box using the new Pop & Cuts card-based die from the spring catalog. We recently made this little treat box during my Blue Mountain Stampers Team monthly get-together. They are quick and fast to make since the die does all the basic designing for you, and all you have to do is add some score lines and decorate. So let me set this aside and we'll get started. Okay, we're going to start by making the basic box that fits inside the Pop & Cuts card-based die piece. We're going to start with a piece of cardstock that's 8 1/4 by 6 inches, and along the long side we are going to score the box at the 2-inch mark and again at the 6 1/4 inch mark. Then I'm going to turn the paper, and along the short side I am going to score at the 2-inch mark and then again at the 4-inch mark. Now I'm ready to assemble my box, so let me show you how I did that. The first thing I did was cut along the score lines. I cut all 4 flaps going up to where the score line meets, and then on the reverse side I added 2 pieces of sticky strip on each one of those tabs. And to assemble your box, all you have to do is peel off the sticky strip, fold the piece in, and adhere. Okay, there you go. I've got all 4 tabs adhered on my box, and it's a nice size box, so it'll hold some really nice goodies: chocolate, a necklace, piece of jewelry, whatever you'd like to tuck inside. So now that I've got my box ready, I'm ready to move on to the Pop & Cut die. Okay, now I'm ready to use my Pop & Cuts die and cut my Designer Series paper. I'm going to lay my Designer Series paper here where I have this first post-it note at the top of the decorative edge of my die. And what that does for me is simply give me an easy visual so that I don't have to strain to see where that cutting point is on my die. So now that I've got it laid on top, I'm ready to take my sandwich over to my Big Shot and cut. Okay, now that I have my piece of Designer Series paper cut with my die, I'm ready to begin scoring. And I'm going to simply place this on my scoreboard with the flat edge up against the ruler and the decorative edge to my right. I've got my score markers placed at the correct measurements, so I'm ready to begin to score. I'm going to score at the 1 1/2, 2 1/2, 4 1/2, 6 1/2, 8 1/2, and then 9 1/2 inch score lines. And now my score lines are in place and I'm ready to fold it. So let me set aside my scoreboard and show you how I did that. All I simply did was start at the top and fold towards me, and then the next score line is going to be away from me, and you're going to continue that scoring away from you until you get to that last score line right here, and then you're going to once again fold it like an accordion in the opposite direction. And what that does is allow for those 2 pieces to line up on the outside of your box. Now the next step is easy. You're going to simply lock those 2 ends together. And I like to do this first because it's easier than once your box is assembled. You've got your tabs lined up and everything tucked in nicely. Make sure your edges align. And then you're going to take the punch of your choice. In this case I'm going to use my Modern Label punch and turn it so that I can see. And I am going to line that up in the center and punch out my little handle. There you go. That's it. I'm ready to start assembling my box. So I'm going to open this up and add adhesive. Now when I add adhesive, I like to use the multi-purpose adhesive. It just gives me a little bit of wiggle room once I've applied it. And I'm going to apply it first to the bottom and then on these 2 sides. You don't have to add adhesive to these 2 sides, but if you don't want your box to come completely open, this is helpful. So I'm going to set my box in the center and line it up the way I want, and then I'm going to simply bring up the 2 sides on my box and kind of center that Designer Series paper on both sides and hold it there a few seconds and until it adheres and dries a bit. Now that my adhesive has adhered a little bit, I'm simply going to lock these tabs back in so that my treat box is ready to go, and decorate it. I've made this cute little medallion focal point using my Oh Hello stamp set and one of my favorites, the Fabulous Phrases. It's a great set because it's got all kinds of different choices of words for you to choose from, so they make any event easy. I've added some adhesive to the back, 2 dimensionals, and I'm now ready to adhere this to the side of my box. There you go. That's it. The treat box is finished, and you're ready to fill it with whatever kind of goodies you'd like and give it to that special somebody. If you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. It's open 24/7, and you can get there from my blog, www.stampwithjini.com. Thanks for joining me.